Well, we're
hello.
back. We're back. It's summer.
Beautiful day. It's summer.
Last, we're getting some good daytime summer.
Can we talk about summer holidays?
Yes.
We're going away later in the summer, and I'm really concerned about one thing, and only one thing, because I know it'll be a nice holiday. I'm concerned. Yeah, even though I go on holiday with him, that's not what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the flight and whether they will cancel the flight before we go and make us rebuy it at a more expensive price because of airline fuel. I'm really concerned about that.
Flying for me, and you know I used to fly a lot in my last job.
Your last job, yeah. In another life.
In another life.
Yeah.
And some of it was business class, and some of it was economy.
Was it economy when you were paying for it and business class when they were paying for it?
Only one person demanded economy.
Did they?
Yeah.
So you didn't really want to work for them?
I never paid for it. I never paid for it.
Okay.
It was always invoiced, but one person, and it was Dubai. Funnily enough, all the times I went to Dubai, one client said, "No, we only pay economy." So it was like 8-9 hours of sitting upright. Anyway, what I wanted to say about what drives me mad and grumpy about flying is the absolute polar opposites of service you get if you're economy or business class.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like...
But think about the difference in price.
But if you've never flown business class or first class, it is...
You've missed out.
It would not just you missed out, but you cannot believe how differently they... from checking in to queuing to get onto the plane. I mean, the whole... Anyone that's ever travelled with companies like EasyJet or Ryanair or Wizz Air, why on earth do they just say, oh well, boarding's open, after they've got the speedy and the disabled through, and it's like a scrum to get on. Why don't you board people based on these chunks of seats at the back, these chunks of seats next, so that everyone can get on?
They always used to, for God's sake, didn't they? They always used to do that.
And then people can get on and they can do the overheads and they can do all that whilst the next lot are getting. But it's not. You're stood there waiting for somebody to lift a bag into the overhead.
We know quite a lot of people that are stewards, and I think they are all boys that we know.
Flight attendants
who, well, no, I'm talking about stewards that are like the first... The head of the
generation.
cabin. They're like in charge of the rest of the crew. We know a few of those people. And they choose to work up in first because it is, one, a different kind of clientele, and two, a very different kind of service.
I don't know that I've been on business class, and which is the close to first as you can get, and the clientele can be just as challenging. My point is
challenging in a different way.
My point is the way, and I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
So. Had a very long few days in Dubai, and I was getting the overnight back to London.
The red eye.
I was exhausted, absolutely exhausted.
You'd actually done some work for once.
And when you get on the plane and you turn left, the first thing they do is they take you by name to your seat and settle you into your area.
Yep.
And they've often got another person who stood there with a silver salver of
champagne.
White wine, champagne,
nice.
pomade.
Very nice. That shows your age.
And you could see people just grabbing at it because it's free. And they came over and said, "Mister, would you like a glass?" And I went, "Do you know what I'd really love? I'd love a strong coffee." And he went,
"Coming right up."
"Yes, we can do that." If I'd have said that in economy,
they would have told you to sit down.
We'll do service an hour into the flight.
Yeah.
But it was just no, I'll put everything down and I'll go and make you a cup of coffee.
I'm still going to say that's the difference between paying £300 for a ticket and £3,000 for a ticket, because that is the difference.
But
isn't it?
But what more drives me mad is there's no middle ground level of service.
No.
It's just you're treated like cattle.
And even when Virgin say premium economy, it's that's still the word economy is still the key word.
Economy, just a bigger seat.
Yeah.
So you've got more room to move around in and wait for a drink.
We've both been delayed on planes where we've sat on the tarmac in our seat.
Bust.
Oh God, we have. Although actually that wasn't too bad an experience. I'm talking about when when you're on the plane, you've all boarded, and then the captain comes on going, "Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a small delay. There's a small electrical problem," and it's like, oh God, how long's this going to take? We were sat on the tarmac for like 4 hours, I think.
When we were the only 8 passengers.
During COVID,
Yes.
absolutely. Stretch out, beautiful.
And
it was
they
wonderful.
kept coming down the aisle saying, because there was pockets of four there,
People that knew each other.
Yeah, people. And they kept coming down the aisle saying, could you please leave your masks on? And we went, we're all together.
Yeah, we're
all
all going on holiday
We're
together.
the only 12 passengers you've got.
I think they were protecting themselves.
Yeah, I know. We said just bugger off back to the other.
I have a funny feeling on an
And in the end,
aeroplane.
they gave up.
The air is just
Yeah.
on that same holiday. By the way, we were walking down the beach in Gran Canaria,
being made to wear masks
without our masks on, and the police were in their jeep training their guns on us, saying, "Put your mask on." It's like, oh, okay, I'll put my mask on then.
We are British.
At gunpoint.
We have a different version of COVID.
Well, I think that's what they were worried about. Yes, planes. I hate the waiting. We do a lot of waiting.
I hate the departure lounge. The whole you're being ripped off for everything. I know the businesses are being ripped off for their rent and rates and whatever in there.
But I still would prefer to buy a sandwich from WH Smith at the airport and take it on the airplane with me rather than buy an EasyJet sandwich on the plane, which is another £7.
Yeah.
Personally.
I just think there's never enough seating.
No.
To allow
No, there isn't.
There's never. You're always going, well, there's one seat there and there's one over there, and so you can't sit and wait for the flight, and they won't tell you the gate number, so you can't go down to the gates where it's less quiet and get out of the noise. And
you know what people will be thinking? They'll be thinking, you should stay at home. If you hate it that much, you should stay at home.
Stay at home, and I'm quite happy to stay if we get weather like that. I mean, there's not a cloud.
We talked about staycations a few weeks ago.
We did, and I'm quite happy to do that. I
quite like going out. I quite like getting out.
Anyway,
but to be fair, if it is something like this, that's great. Let's hope for a long hot
And
summer.
then I hate it at the other end when they punish us for not being in Europe anymore, and they make us queue to have our passports, and everyone else goes through before us because you're now.
You remember those days when we could just go through? You remember those?
Yeah, white privilege.
Oh God, that's not what I meant. And on that unsavoury note,
British privilege.
What do you hate about flying? Let us know in the comments. All good. Let us know in the comments. What do you love? What do you hate about flying? Have you ever been on a first class flight? Have you ever been on business class? I bet Lady Godiva, who's one of our regulars, I bet she's in business class all the time. I bet. It's like, let us know in the comments.
She's probably got a black BA card.